Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Powers, thank you for taking the time to meet with me a couple of weeks ago. Congrats on your nomination. We discussed at length the challenges that DoD has had for decades now at passing an audit. And I think it's high time we institute some fiscal responsibility into our defense spending rubric, as well as how we budget. Some of that is on us, some of that's on you, but the reality is we have to make sure that the nearly $1 trillion a year we are spending on our military is being spent wisely, and we are not having fraud, waste, and abuse in the system. We're also spending, in some cases, billions of dollars on external auditors to come in and audit the Pentagon, yet we still are not passing audits. So we're paying people to give us audit opinions, private audit firms who are making billions off of auditing our government, yet we're still not passing audits. So I'd like to hear from you what your plan is to stop paying external consultants billions of dollars to not help us pass audits, and eventually how we pass an audit to make sure we are being responsible stewards of our taxpayer dollars.
Thank you for that question, Senator Sheehy, and I did appreciate you taking the time to talk a few weeks back. We're spending a lot of money, and we have spent a lot of money over the years getting ready for audit and being audited. The majority of that money is on the getting ready to audit side. If confirmed, I really want to dig in and get well, I'm going to have to, the department is going to have to meet the goal of December 2028. But we need to have an organization, a structure. We need leadership to be very engaged, senior leadership. I think that's one of the keys. Another key is addressing our technology issues. We don't have, our systems don't all talk to each other. They're not auditable in some cases. We don't leverage technology. There's a lot of stuff out there that we could take advantage of that would make our books a lot cleaner, and the data analytics that are required to identify problems, that would make that something that we could take advantage of. Audit hasn't been important. Audit is important now. I think, I might have mentioned this earlier, but we're at a point in time where everyone kind of agrees on the same thing, which is there is no excuse for DoD not having a clean audit opinion, and we need to get in line and get it done.
I think having some of our senior leaders of the Pentagon coming from a business background will help with this. Secretary Feinberg, Secretary Phelan, and many others can bring some of that business acumen. Yes. It's interesting that DoD contractors have to abide by DCAA accounting standards and essentially PCAOB accounting standards. As a former CEO of a public company, I'm familiar with how that works. Yet the Pentagon itself doesn't have to apparently abide by those. So I think it's not only is it the right thing to do, it's also an operational criticality. We have China building ships 230 times faster than we do. Russia builds artillery shells and munitions about 10 times faster than we do for about 10% the cost. So it's beyond just fiscally responsible, it's also an operational necessity. If we're going to have an industrial base that keeps up with our adversaries, we have to make sure our money is led on target. Thank you for your answer. Dr. Henninger, thank you for the meeting the other day. The 21st century battlefield will be characterized by spectrum warfare. Each phase of war in the last hundreds of years, we've seen different weapon systems and domains be dominant, from air to undersea to surface warfare. As we're seeing in Ukraine, and as we've seen in our recent conflicts with Iranian proxies, spectrum will be the battlefield of the 21st century, from electronic warfare to contested spectrum domain. We need to adjust our operational test and evaluation rubric to more thoroughly allow for testing and training in contested spectrum. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how we're going to make that happen.
Senator Sheehy, thank you for the question, and thank you for the opportunity to meet with you the other day. I agree with you. Contested, congested spectrum is the new normal, and our systems will need to be able to prove that they can jam and spoof and recover. We have some capabilities at our ranges now But I don't think we have the comprehensive capability that we will need going into the future, where this will become a bigger part of our battlefield. So I would want to work very closely, if confirmed, with my counterparts in research and engineering and the Test Resource Management Center especially, to look at solutions going forward, perhaps new testing training ranges focused specifically on that capability.
Great, thank you. I'm out of time, but one last point from Mr. Denton, just a quick statement. I think I'd look forward to a thorough review of how we implement our ROEs. As a veteran of both the Iraq and Afghan wars, several deployments, we experienced multiple periods where we're placing the well-being of our adversaries ahead of those of our own servicemen with restrictive ROEs. And I hope that going forward we can review those and how we implement those across the board. So thank you all for being willing to serve again. Thank you to your families.